Gamebreaker TV.
Hello everybody and welcome to After Dark. This is November 27th and this is the show where you guys call in and we answer your questions live right here unedited every Tuesday night. So joining us this week like he does every week from tankspot.com, also host of legendary PST, Weekly Marmot, On Tap, Just the Tip, and probably 18 million other shows in the works. It's Mr. Josh Allen, aka Lore. Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I didn't see you there.
Did you not? Well, for people seeing people somewhere, I think Darnell's been found.
Nope.
Darnell, your hiding spot is, as you said before, compromised. I don't think it's going to keep working. You're going to have to move.
Yeah, well, is that the new Hey, is that a druid? What's that tree over there? That new thing for the tree, the druids and stuff? They turned the damn, that's a good ass tree. I didn't know they made them there. That's a good ass tree. I thought that was
that art.
That tree wasn't there before, right? That's a druid tree. Come on.
That druid art's gotten pretty good. Gotta say.
Christmas druid.
And there's a lobster over there.
Druid. There needs to be a Christmas tree for him.
There does, especially coming into the holidays. What are they thinking? That could be a glyph.
Stuff my presents straight up your ass.
The hell? Damn, what the hell?
All right. Well, this is a live call-in show, so let's throw it right out to the callers. We got a lot on the line here today. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Oh, the tree went away. Anyway, hi, it's Adrian again. So my question is, how do you think Planetside 2 will perform in the coming months? And more specifically, do you think it will retain a decent MMO-sized player base?
So Planetside 2, have you guys gotten a chance to jump in at all? I've actually just recently gotten acquainted with Planetside 2.
Yeah, I kind of spent a whole lot of money in that game already. I was gonna throw it out there, you know. I mean, I just, you know, they're like, oh, we got this little flash, little 4-wheeler, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and check that out. They're like, oh, you can get a little dangly ball for the back end, for the antennas and stuff, and some rims and some tires and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I can't stop spending my money on it.
Are you saying that you put truck nuts on your flash? Did you put?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know they had those in Planetside.
So is this safe to say we can expect some? Can we expect some Darnell Let's Plays in Planetside? Because that'd be crazy. Because that's actually, well, that's another question. We'll get to that in a second. Actually.
No, I ain't no dumbasses that out there playing that stupid ass game. Come on, that ain't me. People just like, oh yeah, this is like Darnell over there, but with a German accent. Come on,
try a German accent for us. Try a German accent. Nothing? Can you not get it out? Do you need your lower jaw for the German accent? Is that the trick?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Oh yeah, there we go.
Ist das eine Katze oder ist das ein Fahrer?
It's Josh. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, okay. I don't know no damn German. Come on.
So
I know now why you cry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, yeah. Oh, what's up? That's the only German. I don't even know what the hell.
All right, so thoughts on Planetside 2. Here's my thing with it. I've only had an experience of jumping in with one or two other people that are new to the game as well, and we were kind of overwhelmed by everything that we had to do. That caused a problem for the people that I was playing with. Within about 10 minutes, they wanted to quit. So I think that's going to cause a problem for the longevity in terms of how long people want to play Planetside 2, just because the people who jump in and get involved in it don't maybe understand as much as they need to right off the bat, and it misses that pop in, and you're like, oh, this is amazing, this is great, like right off the bat. That being said, I've heard a lot of really good things, and I'm planning on jumping in with people who know what they're doing and kind of working together, because that's where I've heard it really gets fun and crazy and addictive. And I think that if players get in and get a chance to experience that, I think they'll be fine.
I mean, you jumped in and then you are like, but bang, bang, pow. You see, I can't do the gun thing because we don't have guns anymore in World of Warcraft. But what I'm saying is, you went in and you were like, well, pow, 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 just like that, bang. And you were like, damn, this is complicated.
I've played shooters before. It's not that
there's gotta be a guide out there somewhere that tells me what I gotta do.
It's not that it's complicated. It's just that it felt, when I jumped in, I had no placement to what was going on. I didn't know why I had to really defend. I felt overwhelmed by massive menus, and granted, it was my fault because I just didn't want to read the help guides. But I wanted to jump in and just start playing and go do something. So it's a little bit of ADD on my part that caused the issue. But I feel like certain MMO players, myself included, and the ones that I was playing with, are able to jump into something like World of Warcraft, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and jump on the ground floor and kind of get themselves up and running.
Well, hold on a second. Have you played it since it launched? Have you played it since it came out, launched officially?
No, I actually started about a week ago.
Oh my God, they changed everything. God, oh man, how we gonna play? Oh, come out.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I think that's going to be their struggle to hold the MMO players, is that people, myself, I'm just going to use myself as an example. I jumped in and felt overwhelmed and confused at what my goals were and where I was trying to go with it. And I can't be the only one out there that's felt that.
There's a little bit of early learning curve. I mean, it's mostly just like, especially if you're playing solo, everything seems to be fine if you're playing with other people because you can ask them questions and stuff. And funny how that works out in the MMOFPS. You should probably be playing with other people. But most of the early learning curve, it's either stuff that I've just slowly been figuring out myself, like learning, okay, so I can't just go in there gung-ho with an SMG. I have to be tactical about things. Crazy. I can't just run in there all Call of Duty style, like, I'm gonna shoot everybody! And things like learning to follow the Zerg around, looking at your map to figure out where other people are and going and reinforcing them instead of just running off and doing your own thing. Other than that, though, I haven't felt like there's a huge learning curve beyond that. It all seems pretty... maybe this is just because I don't mind poking around in menus to learn stuff, but it all seems pretty straightforward to me. It's just a question of, oh, I do stuff, and then I level up, and then I unlock certs, and I get more things, and I can try things out if I want, and as long as I'm following the Zerg around, I'm fine.
How do you feel about the idea, the other thing that the people I was playing with, when we were looking at it, and we're kind of deciding, all right, what faction are we going to go, and what classes we were going to play? Maybe we right into factions being too close, like, or classes being too close to classes like we were expecting in MMOs. Because when I jumped in and realized that I could switch my class mid-battle, that's a great thing for a FPS. You need that versatility to change based on the circumstances. But to me, I felt a little disconnected from the character that I was playing because I wasn't working on like I didn't build one class to be really good. I just kind of got to pick and choose, you know, either being a medic or either being a sniper or being a heavy assault. How do you guys think that sticks for the player?
Anybody right now who is playing Planetside 2 and going like, okay, I'm only an infiltrator and that's all I'm ever going to do, or I'm only a Sunderer driver and that's all I'm ever going to do, or I'm only a pilot, that's all I'm ever going to do, is kind of playing the game wrong. Even in situations where you're in like an organized platoon and everything, where everything is organized and you'll probably end up spending more time doing one thing than anything else, because, you know, you're organizing with each other. So you're like, okay, I'm the infiltrator, I'm going to sit up over here. There's still going to be situations where you want to switch into a different loadout. Like, even if it's just on the fly for half a second, like, oh, we're trying to set up our Sunderer over here, but there's a tank. So real quick, we'll all switch over into heavy, we'll shoot a couple rockets at it, and boom, we're done at this point. I can go back to Sunderer at that point. I think and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to spread out all your certs and everything. You can still specialize into one thing. But you are still going to want to jump into other setups from time to time, because even the basic, like, heavy assault setup is still good at killing tanks. Even the basic infiltrator is still good at sniping. You can specialize and become better at those things, but in the situations where you really need this particular setup right now, it's all right to just say, all right, well, I'll just spawn a tank because we need a tank right now and everybody else's tank is on cooldown or they don't have the mats for it or something. Resources, excuse me.
I just can't believe that's a thing. I can't believe you get into a damn FPS and you're like, damn, this game is complicated. It's like
first-person shooters aren't that complicated.
All I'm saying is when you first get in the game now, go download it. Damn, it's just like 2 minutes, especially with your mega internet connection over there. Download it, make an account, get in there. Then all you gotta do is you click on whatever class you want. Not the dudes with the purple tights. Then you're gonna go ahead and what it does is you make a new character and then it plays a video and it's all like you are part of whatever, not the purple type people, and you need to go and kill all the purple type people. And then the next scene, you basically come crashing out of the sky and just like bam, and then you start running around and just like pew, start shooting stuff. It drops you right in the middle of a big ass fight. It's almost like the whole damn thing was scripted, except for it happens all the goddamn time.
Well, right, and I'm not saying that I don't understand how to play. I got an understanding of what was going on, but I didn't feel as connected to what was going on, and that's where I feel like people might not necessarily keep up with, you know, because the caller was asking about how long people will stay invested, and I feel like the reason why MMO players play for as long as they do is because they feel so invested into the lore or the story. I guess that's the same thing, the PvP or whatever's going on, and I just didn't feel as compelled to be invested as I have been with other games.
3 words: Guild Wars 2. This is a very, very recent lesson for the MMO community. Guild Wars 2 has an amazing story that goes along with it. If you really get into the lore behind Guild Wars 2, it's really fantastic. Has an amazing game world. It has an amazing environment. There's amazing people playing it. People were getting bored and quitting. Why? Because MMO gamers need a grind. They need something to grind out. If they don't have that next carrot on the stick, they will stop playing. They will say, I love playing this game, but there's nothing for me to work towards, so I'm going to stop playing. Planetside 2 has that and then some. There are so many different certs you can get, you will never unlock everything in that game unless you like start really spending money on that thing.
So they've really MMO players really have something to dig into with Planetside 2.
If you look at certs like it's grind, then yeah. Okay. It's just endless. There's so much damn, there's so much stuff. Here's the thing, so you go and you get like a weapon, right? And then you spend your entire life going through and unlocking every stupid thing, all kinds of redundant ass hardware on it, right? Then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw down like $1.50, $2.50, whatever it costs to go ahead and pick you up like another weapon. And then it's like, oh, I got unlocked search for this too. Well, guess what? That's another grind right there. Oh, look at that. Damn. MMO players love them a grind, so there you go. So
you guys are projecting a pretty good shelf life for Planetside 2 then, amongst the MMO community.
I think like with any other MMO that comes out, there's going to be a lot of people that try it and go, this isn't for me. But the fact that, A, it's totally free to play, completely and totally free to play. They do have a really good free to play model going along with it too. And the fact that there is plenty to continue doing in that game. It's not something that you're ever going to feel like, well, I guess I could go take over this base, but I'm not going to really get anything out of it. You're always going to get something, excuse me, that the only real concern I have about it is that they may have made at least the initial curve to get like your first couple of big unlocks a little bit too high. Like I feel like you should be able to unlock a couple things relatively quickly on, but that may also just be because I've been like, oh, I really want to get this awesome sniper rifle, so I haven't been buying stuff. I feel like there's plenty there to keep MMO gamers interested, and I can really, like, the first Planetside was an amazing game that came out before the technology could really support it. Planetside 2 it's the same idea, again, done in an environment where it can actually support the technology. I feel like I don't want to call something a knockout success, because what really makes an MMO successful, it has nothing to do with the state of the game at release. It's how well the developer keeps up with it over time. But it definitely has major potential to be a really big long-term game for people to be playing.
All right, so there you go. Let's sort out to the lines again and get another caller on the line here.
20 minutes on one damn question, damn.
Caller on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hey, what's up, fellas? My name is Gabe. I am from Montreal, Canada. And my question is geared more towards, yeah, I know, you got a lot of Canadians. My gear is geared more towards Shaftnet, but if Laura and Darnell want to participate, that's great.
Is it a Final Fantasy question?
No. It's it's about a show you had on a few months ago regarding reviews on anime.
Yes.
And it stopped.
Yes.
I liked it. I mean, I liked it. I didn't particularly agree with the review you gave that particular anime.
Well,
I thought it was a good idea.
Get off the line then if you don't agree with me. No. All right. Okay.
It's just I thought it was an awesome way to get it's been a while since I've gotten in touch with the anime world. Whatever. It was a good way to get ideas of what new shows to watch.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, why did that stop? And if you've been watching recent anime, what can you recommend? More towards like the 26 episode series instead of like the 1,000 series Naruto.
Sure. Darnell,
hold a minute. Okay, I just want to make sure that everybody's clear what's going on, especially everybody at home. Okay, what's going on right here? Someone just called in because they're mad because Mike S and himself do not agree on a cartoon. Technically, that is exactly what's happening here. But you want to make sure we set that. We want to go ahead and just set that up. Okay.
We can fight all day long about which one he didn't agree with. All right, so what happened with it? I got extremely busy, much like Darnell. It's something that I still love, and I still want to keep producing. I just need to find the time it takes to not only watch a lot of series, because if you think about it, every show is a half hour long. You have some certain series that go into episodes of 500, 600, up to 1,000, and then obviously, as you said, there's some mini series that go maybe 10 to 15. So it's a matter of not only finding the time to watch all these series, but then on top of it, create the content. So it's something I want to get back to. I just got really, really busy. Now, as for stuff that I'm watching right now, real quick, personal preference on, did you like the Dot Hack series?
I watched a bit of it and I thought it was good. Yeah.
Okay. So, and obviously this is an MMO community. Have you checked out, and I mentioned it before, Sword Art Online?
No, I haven't seen that, no.
It's really good right now. They're in their second season. It's another anime that's entirely based on, I just got a glimpse of Darnell with ears. It's a really good anime that's based on being trapped inside an MMO, and if they die within the MMO, they die in real life. So they kind of have to band together and work their way to beat the MMO in order to get out. It's really good. I think the first season is only about 14, 15 episodes, and they're still in the process of making it. Crunchyroll is where I'm watching it over at, and you can watch it free over there. So definitely, I would say go check out like Sword Art Online. If you're that way. The other way that I've been finding it, and you're asking how maybe good locations. Honestly, Netflix truly is the way that I've been keeping up with anime. I know there's other sites that people use, and people, dub versus sub argument I'm not even going to touch. But I would say that be sure to check out Netflix and some of the other services. No? Hey, I'm sorry you guys can't be included in every question, but this one was directed at me. Sorry you guys don't watch anime. You guys should check it out.
I said Laura and Darnell could give their suggestions, but I mean, I didn't think they were going to contribute.
There's clearly their thoughts. So yeah, off the top of my head, Sword Art Online. Shoot me over something on Twitter, and I'll think about it a little bit more and try and get back with you with a bigger list. But for now, we'll move on from this topic. And I will definitely try and get back to you. Okay, I hear you. Bigger size. Holy cow. This next Twitter Twitter question is brought to you guys by Audible. Really? You're gonna even interrupt the plug here? Really? Come on, I'm plugging something. For a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook, if you guys head on over to audible.com/Gamebreaker, no TV, just /Gamebreaker. You guys can get a free audiobook and free 30 days of Audible where you can stream and listen to audiobooks. So this next question is brought to you by Sarah. And she wants to know, what is your most anticipated game of 2013?
The games come out in 2013? Damn.
No, the world's going to end next month. So we have no games to look forward to in 2013. You guys got any before I go and make Darnell sigh some more?
Easy cop-out answer for me, Heart of the Swarm. Yeah. Most anticipated, Heart of the Swarm. Is Star Citizen, is that 2013 or did they say 2014 on that?
I'm not sure on that one.
It's on Kickstarter. Come on, it's never gonna happen. It's just like everything else. Like, oh, it's on Kickstarter. You never gonna see it.
Chris Roberts is gonna be like, by the way, Star Citizen is what I named my Mercedes-Benz.
Well, Darnell, I'm gonna go just so you can complain some more about my my talking. I think for me, I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. How do you yawn that long? I don't understand.
It's not a yawn, it's just a sigh.
Oh, a sigh. All right, so
you thought that was the whole damn.
Grand Theft Auto 5. If you haven't seen the recent trailers, part of it I'm really excited because it's based in a makeshift Los Angeles. So I'm really excited to, now that I've been living here for 2 years, I'm excited to kind of see a game based around a city that I've already lived in. And the other game that I'm really looking forward to is, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I actually am looking forward to DMC. I think the new Devil May Cry is, I've always been a fan of Devil May Cry. Always been a fan of Devil May Cry, so I'm looking forward to that series and what they're gonna do with the new franchise. Darnell, go. That's the game that you're looking forward to?
But no, that was me.
Oh.
Darnell was just in awe.
All right, well, let's start out to another.
Darnell just doesn't even get to talk.
Darnell doesn't get to go. Cutting him off.
No, I'm good. I'm good. All right.
Let's start out to another question. Call, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hello, my name is Eduardo. I'm from Mexico.
You lying. You lying. You lying. You lying.
I can't tell. I don't want to be mean, but I kind of feel like this is a prank call, but go ahead.
A troll? No,
yeah.
I'm not a troll. I'm really from Mexico.
Okay. Is that is that really the way you speak though?
Yeah.
Damn, my God, you so racist there. Just be like, oh, welcome tacos. Yeah.
I'm hearing laughing as he's using that accent, so it kind of sounds like a fake accent, but I just didn't know if this is a troll or not.
All of a sudden.
I didn't know if this is a troll or not. All right, go ahead, Eduardo.
Racist.
Okay. So
be an ass and say in Spanish.
Many MMOs have a marriage system. You can get married in game. Some of these MMOs have a divorce mechanic.
Divorce rates
I
up.
read an article about MapleStory, and it said that 75% of the marriages in MapleStory end up in divorce. So how about we get lawyers as a profession or maybe a class?
Oh damn!
Some people make their goal with weaponsmithing or armor smithing. I want to make my millions establishing prenup agreements and splitting out.
Do you not believe? Do you not believe in the sanctity of love?
No.
Eduardo is genius.
My mom is a lawyer, and I know all about the stuff that happens in marriage.
That would be amazing.
Damn.
Yeah, no,
they have something like that. They've got to have something like that in Second Life. They have everything in Second Life.
But would that be? Would that be?
You have to play Second Life though. Is the problem.
Would that be a way that you guys would be interested in making? What about the alternatives? I mean, we talked obviously sandbox MMOs. What about having alternatives like that to make gold or to play a game?
Listen. When I played Star Wars Galaxies, all I did was make speeders all day, every day. It's not gonna happen again, man. I'm not gonna get suckered into not playing games when I'm playing games again. It's not gonna happen. No.
You don't want those?
Funny,
I think it'd be so interesting. That's part of the reason why I like Sword Art Online. Is like I feel like they're MMO people who are making a living being a shop owner, and that's how they play the game. Why can't I be a lawyer?
I'm gonna put in a suggestion to Blizzard to add a quest giver class, like that one quest in like Hillsbrad.
There we go.
I feel like you'd be really into that, the quest giver class.
But can I make up the quest? Can I make up the quest, or do I just have to stand there and hand it out? What they predefined to me.
It's the same quest every single time. What are you gonna make up?
No, I want to make the quest. I should be able to be like, you should go over here and do this crazy stuff, and then bring me the heart of this and then go do that. Like, what's the point of being a quest giver?
Level 5 is gonna walk up and you're gonna be like, go kill Ragnaros.
Yes. That would be hilarious. Trying to watch a level 5 going and killing Ragnaros. You would laugh. I know you would.
Yeah, I mean, a lawyer in a divorce lawyer of all things. And they can have the insurance company, like type ones, the ones like, oh, if your insurance company is sucking balls, you can go ahead and call me up 555 Donnell, got that ass. Like that's what I'm talking about. That's genius. They should put all these dudes that everybody hates out here in the real world. Sorry about your mom, Eduardo. The hell. Anyway, yeah. Sorry about your mama, Eduardo. But you know, I'm just saying, it'd be nice we put them in there.
This was actually just delivered to me. Is that Rift actually has divorce papers? That's one step towards a lawyer, not just like a menu like, hey, we're divorced. They actually have divorce papers.
Can you get someone else to carry the papers for you to your spouse because you don't actually want to see her?
Can we get someone to serve you the papers?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So they have to people find you and stuff like that to be like, hey, are you Eduardo or whatever? And then be like, yeah, I'm Eduardo. Be like, you've been served, damn. Oh, snappy, yeah.
But then the rate for name changes would go through the roof and they'd be making too much money.
Makes money. That's how they make money.
There you go. That's
damn. Eduardo's a genius.
Sounds like I'm quitting World of Warcraft. Nothing but Rift all day. I'm just gonna serve papers. That's gonna be my job.
All right. All right, let's throw it out to another Twitter question, or actually another caller on the line here on Skype. Caller on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hey, what's up, guys? Quincy from New York. Kind of mixed of a question, and just guys, generally your guys' opinion on, you know, Titan. So basically, like, you know, there hasn't really been MOBA-style game since Reign of Chaos, and seems like every project that Blizzard puts out or is talked about is kind of like shelved or, you know, moved on to, you know, working or going to be in a future release or something like that, you know, with StarCraft Ghost and, you know, the MOBA-style RPGs that are supposedly coming soon. So just kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on if you think, you know, Titan might be Blizzard's take on kind of a League of Legends or a Smite to kind of, you know, grasp that market of esports they don't really have.
No, just because that's what Blizzard All-Stars is. It's already in production. So.
And what about the fact that I mean, we got to consider. I didn't look deep into the story, but I saw a hit right here on Gamebreaker TV where they're still talking about trying to introduce a MOBA battleground to World of Warcraft. Correct? I mean, they talked about it at BlizzCon last year. People kind of thought it was dead in the water, but it turns out that it's not.
I think it was Ghostcrawler said on Twitter the other day that it was like, oh, it's not canceled. It's just not. I don't remember exactly what he said. It's not shelved. They're still talking about it or something. So it didn't sound like it was something that was like super in production. Like, oh, here's how we're going to implement this. It sounded like something they were still trying to figure out how to do, but it's still a possibility for World of Warcraft at some point.
So I mean, it's not. Yeah. I mean, and as you said, the hardcore like MOBA is Blizzard All Stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just the rumblings I've heard from general just people around the Blizzard community and the esports community is that they've actually like, because when they originally unveiled Blizzard All Stars, it was just like a mod for SC2. But it sounds like they've actually decided to say, okay, you know what? Instead of just doing this mod thing, we're actually going to go whole hog with this, and they're actually making like a full-on Dota clone. So, I say Dota clone, but yeah, a full-on MOBA with it. So, sounds like that's actually going to be a very, very serious outing for them in the MOBA space.
All right, let's throw it out to another question and keep the show rolling. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and let us know your question.
Hello?
Hey.
Domino's?
Hi, I'm Matt from Ottawa, Canada.
What?
You sure you're
Canada?
not Domino's?
Wait, this might be. Could be.
Ottawa?
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
What?
Domino's?
Oh. No, it's
Pizza Hut.
Ottawa.
Subway.
Domino's?
Anyway. Okay, whatever. My question is... I'll just say Toronto. You'll know what that is. My question is about the Elder Scrolls Online. My question is, do you think that Elder Scrolls will have any innovative gameplay relative to other MMOs that happened in the past? I know they're trying to do some Dark Age of Camelot kind of style PvP, but do you think they're going to make anything innovative, or will it just be another WoW clone? Also, I think they released the new races. Do you know what races you'd be playing, or would you play the MMO when it comes out?
I'll play it when it comes out for sure. I'm just kind of curious as someone who enjoys Elder Scrolls games. Like I'm still very skeptical on, and I know this isn't directly answering your question, but I'm still skeptical on whether or not they can actually make the Elder Scrolls work in an MMO setup and have it still feel like an Elder Scrolls game. Because to me, Elder Scrolls has always been to me about being the supreme ultimate badass surrounded by a whole bunch of people that just go, oh my god, it's that guy every time they see you. But if there's 500,000 other of that guy wandering around, that seems kind of
now wait, because I agree with you, and we had this talk a couple episodes back where we talked about the god complex that comes with Elder Scrolls. But let's throw World of Warcraft under the bus here, because they say the same thing. They you know, we're meant to feel like these absolute awesome heroes that killed Arthas and killed Deathwing, even though it was Thrall. You know, World of Warcraft still does it, where they try and make you feel like the big hero, even though it's ambiguous enough to be the every player. So, with that being said, do you think they could pull it off?
But you start off like a regular dude, though. Like, you don't start off like, oh, welcome, Dragon Slayer. Like, you start off from World of Warcraft like, oh, welcome, we brought you back from the dead. Do us a favor because we're really busy. Go knock on them other coffins, see if they feel like coming out. If not, then F them. Move on to the next one. And that's pretty much the way it works. And then eventually you grow up and you can do all this stuff and kill dragons and
But why can't Elder Scrolls do that?
Well, Elder Scrolls can do that. It's just, it's not going to translate directly for me. It's something that, when I was playing Warcraft 3, which was what I was playing before I got into World of Warcraft, when I was playing Warcraft 3, and that was the genre, or where the franchise was before World of Warcraft came out, it was another thing where you just had a whole bunch of guys you were controlling around, moving them all over the place. So I already sort of felt like, okay, a Warcraft MMO, I'm going to feel like just another grunt, but I'm gonna be that grunt. I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna live that grunt's life, and I'm gonna go home to that grunt's kids and that grunt's wife, and I'm gonna okay, yeah, maybe not that whole.
That don't sound good at all. Damn, I feel sorry. Damn.
Yeah, no, but I feel like with Elder Scrolls, it's something that there's very much, at the very least, it's going to be hard for me to get over that sense of, okay, well, this isn't really the Elder Scrolls, right? Like, that's something that's it's gonna be a problem for me to overcome that sort of sense. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna have the same thing, where a lot of the, at the very least, Elder Scrolls fans are going to jump into it and go, this really isn't what I want out of Elder Scrolls game. And I don't even remember initially what the question was anymore. Exactly.
Well, I was going to bring it back now. He brought up, what do you think? Is Elder Scrolls really doing anything innovative, or do you think that they'll have anything innovative? And then he also mentioned that they released new classes, and if we knew yet what class we were going to play.
Yeah.
Or race, I think.
Race, yeah. I actually haven't seen the races, so I'm not sure. I would probably play an orc if that's available, but I don't know exactly what races they've said are available. I haven't seen those myself. If they can pull off the ability to feel like you are a real badass in a world surrounded by other people who also feel like a real badass, that I feel would be innovative. That's something that Star Wars: The Old Republic tried to do, and in my opinion, they didn't really pull it off very well, because everybody just kind of felt like, I don't know. I liked the story aspect of Star Wars: The Old Republic, but it didn't really feel like it really nailed the I am awesome, and these other guys that I hang out with, I guess they're all right too, but I'm the awesome one of the group. If they can manage to pull that off in the Elder Scrolls, then that'll be fantastic, and that would be something very, very innovative. It's just a question of, are they actually able to do it? I don't think things like 3-faction PvP, which everybody has nowadays, except
World of Warcraft, no longer innovative.
Everybody has them. Yeah, it's something that everybody just kind of has come to understand. Oh, well, if we're going to have large-scale PvP, there needs to be 3 factions. I don't think it's really something that has been... In fact, I wouldn't even call it innovative in games like Guild Wars 2, because it was something that's like Dark Age of Camelot really did the innovating there, I would say. So, I don't know. I really feel like if there is an innovation to be had, maybe something along the lines of the combat system, but more likely it would be along the lines of the story that's actually going into the Elder Scrolls Online, and if they can manage to pull that off.
Now, did I just make this up? I might be getting this confused with Lord of the Rings, but are they doing mounted combat? Or is that just me thinking about Lord of the Rings?
I'm not sure. I honestly, I haven't looked too closely into the little bits of the Elder Scrolls Online that have come out so far, just because it's a game that I know I'm going to have to play before I can really form a solid opinion of it.
Sure.
So I haven't been super reading into it just yet.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm mostly, you know, am on the same stance as you with, you know, 3-faction PvP is definitely nothing that is innovative anymore. It's just kind of come to be expected with massive PvP. And I'm worried about the God complex that's going to come with Elder Scrolls Online. But if they can pull it off, I agree with you. It might be something that is innovative that a lot of people latch onto. So let's throw it out to another caller and see what you guys are asking over on the lines. On the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hello, my name is Jay from Kitchener, Canada, Ontario. And I've called in before. So I got 2 questions. This one, first one's more directed to you, Mike, and then the second one is more directed to all you guys. So the first one is I watched a podcast, and they do a thing called Death Battle. And what they do is they'll take either characters from games or even just characters from franchises that you generally see fight
I love
together.
the one between Link and Cloud, by the way. I know exactly what you're talking about.
This is a really big one. They're doing Superman versus Goku. Now, taking all the stats that you would go from that, who do you think would win in that fight there, Mike? And as for the second question, and this is for everyone, with Garrosh being the final boss in Mists of Pandaria already announced, do you think this would all put a twist and actually have both factions team up in actual raids to go ahead and take on Garrosh? And do you think that might be a good idea? And what do you think the players would think about that if they were to try that at all? Thanks, guys.
All right, so real quick, I'm gonna hold you on the line just so we can get back to your second question. First part, I'm gonna make this really quick. Between Goku and Superman, as big of an anime fan as I am, I love Dragon Ball Z. I've got to give the points to Superman, just because I feel like Superman's more impenetrable. His really only weakness is kryptonite versus Goku, who has been.
Unless Goku's hair turns into kryptonite when he goes Super Saiyan, that's a pretty easy win for Superman.
I'll be interested to see the death battle because they always do a really good job of crunching numbers and coming up with really unique, like that. I honestly think that they do the analysis properly of who would win in those fights. So it'll be an interesting fight. Now the second part was Garrosh and multi raids. Okay, so Josh, what do you got? Do you got any thoughts on if they would allow multi-faction raiding in with whatever patch? I'm not quite sure what number this might be, but when it comes time to take down Garrosh, you think that they would let Horde and Alliance in the same raid?
I doubt it, mostly because of technical reasons. Like, it just seems like a huge undertaking for them to even be able to do something like that when... I don't know. It feels like
technical reasons. I think the only technical reason I'll let you continue, but would the only technical limitation be like with TOGC where there was different gear for different factions? Beyond that, it's just a matter of putting people on the same server, wouldn't it?
How do you invite them to your group? How do you get into the same raid together? How do you communicate with each other when you're in there? Can you not heal people from the other faction, or can you heal people from the other faction? Is it something that both raids just sort of zone in and now there's 50 people in there instead of 25? There's a lot of like just minute little how does this actually function issues that they would have to solve to be able to actually pull it off. I feel like it's a much bigger undertaking than it might seem at first glance to be able to pull something like that off. And aside from that, it just does it seems like if you're going to have that be the final boss of the expansion, if I'm a raiding guild, I don't want to have to team up with an alliance raiding guild to be able to take down the last boss of the expansion, especially since the whole thing has been themed around war the entire time. I don't want to have to suddenly be like, oh, by the way, yeah, Signs of Destiny. How about we go kill Garrosh? I mean, I know I've been killing you on site for the past like year, but we should go kill Garrosh sometime. That sounds like yeah, like
let's set aside all of our differences.
Yeah.
Sorry for raping and pillaging your villages and stuff. My bad.
Yeah, how would you organize that? How are you now forcing all of does every raid now have to find another raid from the other faction on their server to be able to do it? Well, like what happens when there's more Horde raiding guilds than Alliance raiding guilds on a given server? It just seems like a giant mess to try to actually coordinate.
Now, what do you think about? Well, I guess the other thing, and not even what do you think about? I think the other thing is we've seen a lot of pretty decent storytelling this time around. Not that we haven't in the past, but they're really driving that home. And I think what Blizzard will definitely want to capitalize on here is the two very distinct differences in story as to why the Horde are taking down Garrosh and why the Alliance are. There's two experiences that are going on there that would potentially be slighted if you took the time to intermix them, while you can make it a really grand and exciting experience for each faction by keeping them their own individual experience. So I think that just in general, the answer is we don't expect it to be, but it'd be interesting, but I don't,
it'd be really cool interesting to have content like that.
Yeah. I just don't think this will be the content that they do it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we team up with Superman and the Goku dude, and there we go. That's how you take him down.
Scenarios would actually be a great way to pull it off.
With Superman.
With Superman scenarios.
But then as soon as you do that, you're going to open a can of worms and people are going to want to start to be traitors to their factions, and then you're going to want humans who want to be able to be Horde, and I know that's going to open up that whole door that's been being fought for the past couple of years.
Bring them on. We'll just you guys just line up over there and just bow your heads.
Why not?
We'll bow your head. I'm just going to get my sword out.
I think
quick, and you guys can just.
I think the way that they should allow the traitor system is, sure, you can have a human become a Horde member, but every Horde member still has the ability to kill that human. You can go raid with them, you can go have fun with the Horde, but you're still a human, and they still reserve the right to kill you if you tick them off. You're a traitor. You should get punished. All right, let's start out to another question. Let's see what else is out on the line. Call, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hey, guys. This is Jamie from Mississippi. And my question is, do you think that a Halo MMO will happen with a persistent world similar to Planetside 2 or even World of Warcraft with the armor customization and that type of thing?
Halo MMO. I feel like this...
Specifically Halo. Like 343 Industries Halo?
Yeah,
are we saying Bungie Halo? We're saying 343 Halo?
Lore around it, having like humans, the Covenant, and Forerunners or whatever they're going to add in on that. I heard about this Destiny thing Bungie's actually building, which kind of piqued my interest and made me think about it because I read something about it being more of a social game. So I was thinking, MMO in that vein.
Here's part of the problem with that is Bungie walked away from the Halo franchise when they left Microsoft. So they don't own it anymore.
He says it like he abandoned them or something. Bungie, my daddy left me. His name was Bungie.
But they not only they left Microsoft, so they left the Halo franchise, and I think the other thing that and correct me if I'm wrong, they said that they want to try new ventures. Now that could mean something like an MMO that has to do with a Halo type series, but that also could stand to reason that they're trying to do something and break out from the success that was Halo. Yes? No? Maybe?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Could a Halo MMO happen? Yeah, possibly. Could a Halo MMO happen developed by Bungie? No, not going to happen. Not unless Bungie goes back to Microsoft somehow. Just not going to happen. I think there's a high possibility that at some point Microsoft will look at the Halo franchise and say, you know what, we should make an MMO out of this. And maybe they'll do something like with Planetside. Maybe they'll do something else entirely. Maybe they'll do something like what Tabula Rasa was. Anything. There's any way they could go with that thing. I think it's possible to see a Halo MMO. It's definitely not Destiny, and if and when it does happen, it will probably not be developed by Bungie.
All right, let's start out to
no. Okay, well, damn.
Go ahead.
No, I agree. Like that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. They still got to put out like 15 more Halos. It's pretty much the new Call of Duty.
Oh gosh.
Be like, hey, Halo 5.5. 0.7. Come buy this game.
I can't wait for Halo versus 4.2 to come out.
That being said, though, because it sounds like you guys are being kind of hard on the Halo franchise. What are your guys' thoughts right now on Halo 4? Is it living up to what it used to be, or is it turning into Call of Duty?
Haven't played it. Heard really good things about it. People seem to be accepting it well. I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. I mean, we just talking smack, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of show this is. So
yeah, I've heard it's really, really good, and I keep lovingly looking at my Xbox and going, I would love to put Halo in you, but then
wow, damn,
that's
damn.
But then I turn away and I walk away sadly as a single tear rolls down my cheek.
All right, let's throw it out to another a Twitter question, and then we'll throw it back out to the lines. This one's gonna be really quick. Sutter Kane wants to know, at Darnell Sup, you got any hard feelings over Klaus and Squirrel? They're stealing your gig, man.
They're stealing my gig. What the?
They're running around doing some Let's Plays. Have you not seen the new Let's Plays right here on Gamebreaker TV with Klaus and Squirrel? Everybody's wondering who Klaus and Squirrel. Well, I think everybody at this point knows who Squirrel is, but everybody's wondering who Klaus is.
And everyone knows that only Darnell does Let's Plays.
So it's got to be you.
Only person.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, do I have audio
much,
here?
yeah.
I think I got audio. I mean, come on, this has got to be you. Oh wait, maybe I don't have audio. Let's see here.
Just make the sound with your voice. Go ahead, just say it. Just be like, yeah, I am the German guy, yeah.
All right, it doesn't want to play, but everybody wants to know, who is it? Is it Darnell? I think we just established this at the beginning of the show, though. It's you, Josh, right?
Yeah.
See?
Such a great German accent. All right, let's start.
How is it stealing my gig? Hold on a second, real quick. How's that stealing my gig? How's that stealing my gig? I mean, seriously. Is he still on the phone? Is the phone hello?
It was, yeah, here.
Oh, okay. At you. Shut up. It's not my gig. I'm playing, damn it. Sometimes I play video games where, I record my adventures doing things and I post them. That's pretty much it. Technically, that kind of falls in the same line as like Paris Hilton. She records her adventures. She put them on the internet. Kind of the exact same thing, just slightly different.
All right, well, if you guys don't know what you're talking about, we got a brand new show. Klaus and Squirrel running around on Planetside 2 and just, it's like gameplay with a very high-pitched Squirrel and a very low-pitched German. So be sure to go check that out, guys, right here on Gamebreaker TV. All right, let's throw it out to another caller. See what you guys got to say. Caller on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Well, first, I want to say, before I announce who I am, I'm the mysterious voice out here. I have to say, no one's going to take Darnell's gig. Darnell is Darnell. No one can do it. I'm sorry. My name is Zenat.
All right, now go ahead, dude from Canada.
Dallas, Texas. And my question is over esports generally. So like games like StarCraft 2, Call of Duty, Tekken, and League of Legends to an extent have been brought up into the esports mainly by the community. So how do you feel about new games that are coming out for the developers who are trying to force themselves into esports, or force their game into esports rather?
You mean like Firefall? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like Firefall. I think that's like the biggest one out there. And there's like a bunch of other under the radar games that I've seen at ML Dallas that are like, oh, we're coming into esports, and I don't even know their names.
Yeah,
well,
hang on.
Smite is a game that really wanted to be super esports. Tribes was one that was trying to take off as an esport, couldn't really handle it. There's lots of games out there that. And I don't want to, like, because I know there's communities that are built up around and building up around these games still too, but we haven't seen as many games really pulling in the big numbers that like a StarCraft or a League of Legends will pull up. Even Dota 2 is, it's growing rapidly, but it's still got a long ways to go before it can compete with the others.
Right.
Like,
well,
you were gonna say something.
Most the question's kind of geared to like communities bring up the game into the esports community, but what's your opinion on how like a developer trying to push it? Like, will it see the same growth, or will it still have to be more community driven?
I mean, I think a developer can try and push a game as much as they want to be an esport, but if the community and the fans playing it don't get behind it and get behind the competitive nature of the game, it doesn't matter what the developers say if the gamers aren't going to play it.
Yeah, that's kind of my opinion on it too. Because Firefall, they're trying to say, "Oh, we'll bring a truck out to there." I'm like, okay, but like if you don't have commentators, because that's kind of the big thing is, in my opinion, is if you have to have the commentators who know the game, who can show the game so that you can have a viewer base watch the game, and then you need the pros to play the game. If you don't have kind of that community base, it's not going to help. And I was just wondering if you guys had this kind of the same overview, or if you felt that the developers can still have a hand in on how things are, because you can't have developers do like the spectator side, whereas the community uses it. And I'm just wondering if it's kind of like, I kind of just lost my train of thought here because I'm thinking a million things at once.
Because I'm on TV and I'm freaking out right now. Oh, damn, I don't remember my question.
Well, no, yeah, and I think you're definitely right in that vein. I mean, you got to think about the fact that look at StarCraft teams that get houses and live together. I mean, it's a community based thing that pushes it to be this big, extravagant esport. And if, again, like I said, if the community doesn't get behind it, I don't think you can build a competitive esport and just say that it's going to be if the community doesn't want to play it. I don't know. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I look at things like Dota 2, which has a couple of small tournaments, and then the International, which is like enormous because Valve wants to build up a bunch of hype around it. I look at things like League of Legends even, which is one of the more popular esports right now, but it's something that we're seeing sponsors having trouble really wanting to latch onto because it's so stringent on whether or not Riot feels like supporting a particular venture or not. Riot works closely with IPL, they work with MLG, and obviously they run their own tournament. And that's the only reason that those can really even go anywhere. One of the biggest reasons that StarCraft has been and continues to be like mathematically the most successful, I'm not talking about in terms of like overall viewer numbers, because obviously League of Legends has the highest viewer numbers, concurrent viewers right now. But in terms of overall like income and revenue that's being earned from stuff, the biggest reason that StarCraft really continues to be so successful is that aside from some like little licensing things that have to go on just to make sure that they're like covering their bases and everything, Blizzard really doesn't get too super involved with the actual tournaments. They don't get in there and micromanage everything and say, okay, well, we've got to have our own refs in there. We've got to make sure all the rules are going properly. We got to do all that. No, they let each tournament can have their own structure. Each tournament can do their own thing. And unless you have like, I think it's $5,000 prize pool, you can run a tournament and you don't even have to ask Blizzard about it. They don't even care. They're like, whatever, go for it. No problem. So I feel like really, in terms of long-term success for an esport, there's a couple ways to go about doing it. We're kind of looking at two right now. There's the way Riot has been handling things. There's a way that Blizzard has been handling things. And I feel like the way Blizzard handles things is probably a little bit better, the way they've been working with StarCraft 2, especially more recently as they've been working harder on supporting the esports side of things. That's really what it comes down to for me, is that a developer can have a significant impact and will have a significant impact on the success of a game as an esport, but it needs to be from a support standpoint. It needs to be from the perspective of saying, okay, well, we will give you the tools and we will listen to the people that want to make our game an esport, and we will create something for them so that they can make our game into a successful esport. Not a matter of sitting back and saying, okay, well, we're going to do this and this and this, and that's why our game is an esport, and it's going to be successful because of that. I don't think that will ever work out that way.
All right, let's throw it out to another question, because we got more people on the line. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and shoot us out your question. Echo.
Hello, this is Peter. I'm from California, Arcata specifically, and I was wondering, you know, when I was growing up, I experienced buyer's remorse all the time after I was buying a game. And
Gamefly before you buy.
What games have given you some really bad bouts of buyer's remorse?
Terra.
Diablo.
Damn. Wait, they didn't even buy. Damn. All right.
Just kidding. I never spent a dime on Terra. That wasn't gonna
happen. So buyer remorse. You guys, have you guys had anything like recently within the past couple months that you've gone out and bought and just been like, that was a waste?
Very recently. Yes, but they're all really good games, so I don't feel like it really fits the question. Like, I bought Borderlands 2, and I played it for about maybe like 8 hours, and I just haven't gotten back to it. I'm like, I bought Torchlight 2, and it's a really, really good game. I just haven't gotten back to it because there's just so much stuff to do right now. So I feel like that doesn't really answer the question directly, because the buyer's remorse for games that I get is always on the games that I want to play more of and just don't have time.
Just say Mass Effect 3.
Oh, yeah, that one for sure.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think for me, you kind of mentioned something with not Planetside, Borderlands. I find myself always intrigued to just pay $1, and it's $1. It's not like it's buyer's remorse, but for like the Angry Birds games, because I buy them and then I play them for about 2 or 3 hours and then I never touch them again. And as $1, I can't really have buyer's remorse for $1, but I just like, why did I even pay the money for that game? It's not a bad game, but I'm not playing it.
I'm gonna help you out. If you want games to play on your mobile device, go watch Just the Tip. Every single game I've reviewed for Just the Tip is better than Angry Birds, even the ones I don't like.
Have you tried Order and Chaos? The people who made the mobile iOS MMO, they just came out with a MOBA that's very League of Legends-esque that I played. It came out like 2 days ago. It's supposedly like the first MOBA on the iOS. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's free to play and it has rotating champions, and it's very like League of Legends or Dota.
You say it won't work, but earlier today I played a third-person shooter, multiplayer third-person shooter on my Android. On my
those
S3.
exist. Those have existed for a while though.
Modern Combat, yeah, what's up?
Not as fluid as this one.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It's Shadowgun Dead Zone. It just came out like a week ago. It's amazing. You guys should go watch it. I've been playing it all day.
And is that a Just the Tip that just came out at all, or is that coming out?
Just hit my channel today. YouTube.com/DevilLord. Check it out.
Go watch it.
Just the Tip came out.
Just the Tip came out earlier today.
Just checking.
All right, let's start out to another caller before this spirals out of control. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hey everyone, it's Tyler from Michigan.
Hey Ty.
I just got a question about Rift. In my opinion, the game is awesome. There's a ton of things that you can do to keep it fresh while leveling, and also the end game. The server size is healthy, but there isn't anywhere near as many servers as there was at launch.
Hey Tyler, real quick, hang on, Tyler.
What is a game? Yes.
Real quick, did you? You're a Rift player. You obviously love the game right now. Did you keep playing, or did Storm Legion bring you back?
I kept playing for a while. I took a break for probably about a year and a half, and the hype around Storm Legion brought me back.
So are you liking the features that they've added? Do you think that it was everything it needed to reinvigorate Rift?
I think that the level grind to 60 is quite extensive, but it's really easy to jump from like PvP to the instant adventures, the questing, and dungeons and everything like that. There's a lot of ways that you can level that keeps it pretty fresh. So I'm pretty satisfied with it so far.
Wonderful. All right, so you had
paid off. Look at that, everybody. The hype paid off. See, it ain't always bad.
Well, I did actually do the Volan Colossus event last night, and it took like 2 seconds to cast something. The ability lag was unbelievable, but it was probably the coolest thing I've done in an MMO. Definitely a big time world boss.
Wonderful. All right, so you got a Rift related question. Go ahead.
Right. The servers, there aren't as many as there have been at launch. In your opinions, what does a game like Rift have to do to promote itself in order to break back through and grow to what it once was? And in the case of Rift or Final Fantasy XIV, which is coming back out, is breaking through in a population after launch even possible in an MMO?
I think it's tough to say breakthrough, because we have to remember when Rift came out, Rift had such a great timing when it came out, because everybody was in that lull of I don't like World of War. It was kind of right where Guild Wars was at, and everybody jumped in to Rift, and there's a huge, massive influx. And I've heard Gary say this before, a lot more than they were probably expecting to begin with. So that thrust it into massive popularity, and then it started to die back down. Obviously, we've lost servers because of that. But I don't think that it necessarily, I don't think it'll get back to where it was. I think that's partially due to the time and where everybody was at. The other side that I'm glad to see that Storm Legion reinvigorated you and you started playing again. I personally feel like the MMO player is a lot more unforgiving than a lot of the other gamers out there. If they get in and experience a game and they've tried out Rift and they don't think it's their cup of tea, even if they've only played for an hour or two or maybe even a week. If they just don't feel it's their reason, or for whatever reason they feel like Rift is too much like World of Warcraft, well, why don't I play World of Warcraft? They have trouble coming back to it after they've already made that decision. So they're a lot less forgiving to jump in and try a game again, even if they come back with something like Storm Legion did.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of think that looking at a game like Rift and saying there aren't as many people playing the game as there used to be, what does Rift need to do to get back to having bigger numbers? I kind of feel like that's not necessarily an important thing for them to be trying to do, right? They need to be making sure that the people who are playing their game are having a ton of fun. And then the numbers will just sort of naturally come from there. As those people say, dude, I'm playing this game, I'm really liking it, you need to check it out. That's part of what made World of Warcraft so big to begin. World of Warcraft was the MMO. It was the first MMO for so many people because it was something that... Things making noises. It was something that so many people were playing and then said, okay, you got to check this out. And they were getting all their friends into playing World of Warcraft. And I feel like that same sort of concept still works for the MMO space. It's because they are very social games. It's something that you have to get friends to be playing together in.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like looking at it and saying, okay, well, Rift doesn't have X number, right? They don't have Y million subscribers, so they're not doing well. That's not necessarily accurate. A game can, like we see Eve, be really, really successful and continue to be successful with how many people are playing Eve nowadays? It's not a ton.
It's like six people with like 5,000 accounts each.
Exactly, yeah. It's not a ton of people playing Eve, but they continue to be successful and they continue to be able to add things to the game and continue doing stuff. I feel like as long as Rift is enjoyable for the people who are playing it, that's what Trion needs to be focusing on, is making sure that, okay, we've got these guys, this is our community right now, let's make sure our community is happy, because if our community is happy, then they're going to get more people to play the game, and we will continue to be successful from there.
Yeah, because when you go inside the back with Rift, if you don't have a high-level character from before, then you got to start over. People don't want to do that stuff. Yeah, you look at it like World of Warcraft, it's like, yeah, I got 5,000 level 89s and a halves. I'll go and like hit something and ding on all of them. And then I look at Rift and like, damn, I'm level 1 or level 25 or whatever it is. They don't want to start over. They get in there and it's like, oh, this is the same place I left.
Do you think that
they got all this extra stuff like the instant adventures and all that stuff? I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with Rift. Rift is a good game, the housing and stuff. I could build giant stone dicks and all that stuff all day long, right? But and that's cool and everything. I'm just saying, like, people lazy. We don't want to do nothing else.
So
like, yeah, we already put our work here. We don't got to do anything else. We're done.
Unless there's somebody in there telling you, okay, you need to level up so you can do all this stuff, and you've got someone sort of badgering you over it, you're probably not going to say, all right, well, I'm tired of pandas. Let's go play Rift instead. And get as into it as you would if you had somebody there.
So you think
to play with?
Would you guys say that the familiarity of World of Warcraft, in combination with the fact that a lot of people have tried it and played it and kind of sit around max level, contributes to the reason why they're able to, I don't want to say make massive comebacks. I don't think they've hit the numbers that they've seen in the past, but we always see a big influx back to WoW when an expansion hits.
You mean like you're saying the fact that everybody has a high level character is why that,
and that's why the expectations for something like Rift that comes out with something like Storm Legion should see this massive flux of people resubscribe, is because it's precedented by World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, and because like the reason that it happens in World of Warcraft is everybody's got a level 85 in World of Warcraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can go and buy Mists of Pandaria and immediately be getting Mists of Pandaria content. So everybody will go and do that. And then, they'll come out with a new patch. Well, now everybody's got a 90 in World of Warcraft, so everybody's going to go and check out this new patch and so on. So that's definitely a huge part of why World of Warcraft is so hard to keep people away from, which is why I was talking about with Rift. That's why they need to just make sure that the people who are playing their game already are happy with playing their game and not necessarily worry so much about we need to hit X milestone of this many million subscribers or we fail. Just make sure that they can structure their game around the people who are currently playing it and enjoying it.
What they should do like what Warcraft did when it was like, oh yeah, invite your friends and he'll get an instant level X. Remember level 80 or whatever it was.
That would actually be amazing.
That's exactly what they should do. It's about time someone steals some BS from Blizzard. That actually worked. I mean, I had another account. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go make a mage, level 80. Logged in, all my achievements, all that stuff. Ding, 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 ding. And I was like, well, mage sucks. Logged out. And that was it.
All right, let's start out to our final question for the night. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hey, Mike. It's Rich from Breckenridge.
Hey, Rich. You've called before because I always get stumbled with your Rich with Breckenridge.
Multiple times. Yeah.
How's it going? How you been? How you been since 2 weeks ago?
How I've been since 2 weeks ago? Well, I was good.
Tell us about how you used to live in Breckenridge.
Glad to see you're back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. The show actually, well, it didn't start on time. Darnell. But all right. So, Rich, what's your question?
All right. So I've been hearing about Blade and Soul. It looks really good. But with the other Asian imports like Ion and Terra not doing so hot with North American and EU players, what do you think Team Bloodlust would need to do to tailor it to those markets, or if you prefer, can they break the trend of the Asian imports being just kind of a meh MMO for us in North American and EU markets?
Do you think that, and I'll throw this out to you, Rich, actually, if you don't mind hanging on for a second, do you think that that could maybe be just a cultural difference issue? We're starting to see that a lot with the way that JRPGs have gone is they're not being as received well as the Western RPGs. Do you just think that the mindset of the Eastern culture and the way that they make their games is just not ever going to translate over to the Western culture in general?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to take a direct import, and we've seen it in the past where they take a direct import and do very little other than verbal, or translation, and they bring that directly over to this market. We play it and it's like a brick wall for us. We just smash our head into it and then go, this sucks. I'm walking away from it before I break a monitor. It seems that there is a huge cultural clash there that if they do not adapt it, and it's the same. I mean, it's the same thing. World of Warcraft, in order to work over there, they had to make a bunch of adaptations. They're doing it still with adapting the raid lockouts to serve the
How about
the
theming a whole
Asian/Korean
expansion around?
They really want to play, and they can play more, and we don't have that here. So yeah, I mean, for the game to work here, that has to be altered to fit this market, and the opposite is true.
So guys, I don't know if you've been following Blade and Soul at all, or seen anything on it. It looks very Terra-esque, obviously, as stated. It's coming from the Korean side of the Korean grinders. What do you think, without saying if it will be successful or not, what do you think, based on what we've learned, Blade and Soul will need to adapt in order to be successful over in the Western market?
Damn.
I just stumped both of you.
I'm going to display my ignorance here and say I have not paid any attention to Blade and Soul at all.
It's Terra,
but
it's Terra. It's very
kind of, yeah. That's basically like I was looking at like some early like screenshots of it and everything, and I was like, it's another one of those. That's basically what happened with me. It's another one of those, so I kind of just stopped paying attention to it. So I don't really know any of the ins and outs of how the game is going to work.
Here's where I see Terra and especially Blade and Soul catching a little bit of wind is anime fans. It just kind of screams to that style of combat that we like to see. That's why I think personally, I think a lot of anime fans latched onto Terra was the way that the combat kind of worked. The very actiony, in-your-face, fun, over-the-top kind of combat is a good way to capture your audience. I think the problem that we've seen in previous adaptations is the execution, and the execution is never strong enough to convince the masses that it's better. I don't want to say better than something like Terra, but it is of the status of what Terra is in their minds.
If the general question is what does an Asian MMO need to do to have a better reception than Terra did, the answer is don't suck.
Just flat out call them out.
That's pretty much it. Don't suck. That's the problem Terra had. It sucked. That's why it failed.
Just make a better game, and it won't be bad.
Pretty much. I mean, I know it sounds like a dumb thing to say, but there was so much stuff with Terra that was just so... Why would they even do that?
Oh, I see. Okay, this is Blade Soul. Oh, okay.
Darnell, you're Asian, right? You can Darnell. Yeah, exactly. That's anime fans. Anime fans. Anime fans are going to be the ones to play this video game. Am I mistaken? Was I wrong?
Apparently we all like panties. I mean, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying.
As long as they're not 12 years old, it won't get censored, right? I mean, they just can't look like they're 12, like the Elans.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably an actual problem in real life there.
All right, Darnell.
This is the game.
Yeah. Why would you not want to play that? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, you know, exactly. I mean, yeah.
All right, Darnell.
I ain't got no words for this stuff. Damn.
Darnell, you can follow him.
There's another game with a shiny, with action combat, probably terrible quest line, and boobies. There we go. It's after dark. I can say boobies.
Boobies. Dang. I thought you said buoys, to be completely honest. Like the one in the water behind you, buoy. Darnell Sup. You can follow him right there at Darnell Sup. Catch him right here on Gamebreaker TV, where he does a whole bunch of other content relating to video games. His humor is just, I was about to say unprecedented, but I don't know if it is unprecedented, but it is unique, to say the least. And Mr. Josh.
Anyways, okay, yeah, no, it's okay. It is unique to say the least. By the way, Darnell, these guys that are on the same website, they're ripping off his show, doing Let's Plays. Okay.
Klausen, you can
never mind. Yes,
Klausen,
never mind. Yeah.
You lost me. And Mr. Allen, you can follow him right there at Devolore, DEVOLORE. As you guys heard, be sure to go check out, I forget the game already, but he just released today just a tip for a new mobile FPS that is obviously highly recommended. So be sure to go check that out, guys.
Yeah, I may not have boobies all over on my YouTube channel, but I do have just the tip.
Yeah, boy, that's a selling point right there. That's a tagline. Yeah.
You can follow me right here at Mike Shavnitz. Be sure to follow Gamebreaker TV at Gamebreaker TV and check out the website. We've got a whole bunch of content that comes out that's MMO related and video game related. Brand new shows coming out all over the place. Like our brand new show, Let's Play with Klaus and Squirrel. Be sure to go check that out, guys. After Dark, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. PDT, the show where we answer your guys' call live every Tuesday night. So if you want to call in, you got to watch live. So be sure to check us out and hit us up on Skype at GB After Dark. Guys, thank you so much for a wonderful week. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Boobies. Penis.